Hello, my loves. Hello, hello. Happy Thursday. Oh, we got some hair in the face. Welcome to your Align and Allow episode 8. I'm just going to wait for the timer to start because that's my indication that this is working, and we've had more than enough times where we weren't sure. Facebook likes to be a little bit weird, so thus here we are. But it seems like it's working. If you are hopping on, say hello in the comments. Even if you can't stay, just drop a quick hi. Let me know that you're here. Tell me something that's gone really well today so far, or an intention that you've set for today if you're just starting your day potentially. And also where you're tuning in from. If you haven't jumped on an Align and Allow series episode yet, let me know where you're coming from. Say hello. Let's get to know each other. This group is about connection and support and mutual conversation, this back and forth, and that takes two people. So please hop on and say hello. I love seeing your beautiful faces and energy in here. If you're catching the replay, comment hashtag replay. I love coming back and getting notified so that I can come hang out with you after the fact that this is all over. Otherwise, Facebook things disappear. Let me know that you're here. Let me know that you're showing up. So for episode 8 of Align and Allow, we are talking about how to make a ton of progress towards your next level goal without a ton of time and energy, right? That's always what we want more of. We want more of that energy. We want more of the time. And somehow it always seems to get away from us, right? So tune in for that today. We're talking about the 3 main points. And as always, I'm going to go over what those 3 points are so that you know what they are and you know what you're getting yourself into for today. And then there will be your aligned action at the end so that you can actually take actual action towards making this theme a reality in your life, shifting into actually creating more progress without needing more time and energy, okay? So if you're new here, welcome to Align and Allow. Like I said, please drop something in the comments so I can come and shout you out. But basically what Align and Allow is a weekly mini training series. So kind of consider it like your morning show, your little weekly podcast dose in a training form where we are diving into all things mindset shifts, coaching tips in terms of creating more alignment in the way that you're working, shifting into your feminine flow, the way that you're working so that you are working with more ease, creating more balance, creating more time, all these things that this dominant masculine structure way of working has not been teaching us because it's not what's valued, right? So much of what we do comes down to valuing our productivity and our output and how many things we can check off our goddamn to-do list. Am I right? Can I get an amen on that one? So what we really are doing in this group and specifically in this training in this series is diving into specific ways within the different topics that all encompass aligned working and aligned productivity and feminine flow and intuitive guidance, all those beautiful things, getting you set up with the tips and tools that you need to start implementing this in your life. Trust me when I say that, of course, getting in-depth experience and help on your particular situation is like a monumental transformation, of course. But what we're sharing here and what I'm going to be sharing with you, and if you want to go back and watch previous episodes, what you will hear are actual real tips and tools that you can use and implement right away and create the transformation in your life if you are committed to showing up for it, okay? So this is not just me talking for 20 minutes. This is actually you walking away with something that can massively transform things for you and how you are working, okay? So with that being said, I'm going to shut my mouth and stop rambling and get to the topic of today because, like I say every time, I love to talk, and I really, really try to be intentional with holding these series episodes at like a 20-minute mark. Usually we're pretty good. So let's dive into the topic for today, how to make a ton of progress towards your next level goal without a ton of time or energy, okay? And the 3 topics that we're going to be going over today is, number 1, how to protect your energy without chasing after it. I'm going to break down exactly what that means, but so many of us in our lives, pretty much all of us, and not just with energy, but we are chasing so many things. We're trying to make them happen. We're wanting these things, and we kind of feel like we're constantly reaching for them. And we're going to be talking about how to shift out of that when it comes to energy, which is going to directly affect your time as well. Then we're going to be talking about my biggest subconscious mind hack to immediately start calling in more energy and in turn, time. Again, everything's linked together, and we'll talk about that as well. This is a huge game changer. This is point number 2, and I can't wait to share it with you. You're literally going to walk away with a new perspective on how you manage your energy and what that even means. And then point number 3, the exact next step that I teach in my one-on-one coaching with my VIP clients that my APAers get from me in the self-study course of like moving through it on their own. I'm going to be sharing the next step to reclaiming and unleashing your infinite energy potential. Literally, all the energy you need is already inside of you. We just need to start reprogramming how you are using it. All right? Let me know if you're here with me. If you are hopping on now, still say hello. If you are understanding what I'm dishing out, let me know in the comments. Drop your favorite gift, drop your favorite emoji, like the video. Let me know that you are here and you're showing up and you're paying attention, okay? So, point number 1, how to protect your energy without chasing after it, okay? This is literally shifting into the mindset and perspective that your energy gets to flow to you, okay? And this really comes down to, like I said before, so many of us being in this perspective that we need to try and make things happen. And so we need to force, or we need to push, or we shift ourselves into energy that is this forceful pushingness. I know those are not real words, but bear with me. They really felt true to me when I said them. But basically, what we really want to do is start imagining our lives with the kind of energy that we want to have, okay? And when we start to do that, and I want you to think about this for yourself for a minute, if you had the energy that you really truly desired having, so you woke up in the morning and you felt motivated to start working and you gave yourself that break at lunch so you were ready to get back to it after lunch and you were able to, stop working at 3 and go and take a walk or go pick up your kids from school or go to like a pottery class or meet friends for an after work drink or for dinner. Really start to think like, what would my energy ideally be like and what kind of things am I spending my energy on, right? Energy is a currency and we tend to forget that. We tend to just dish it out and then wonder why we feel like we are in deficit, right? So really start to just take a minute right now, imagine what it would feel like, imagine the kind of energy you want to have, right? And I'm going to assume that you feel like you have a good amount of energy in this imaginary scenario, right? You feel like, yeah, I feel good. I feel like I'm just energized, or I feel like I'm flowing through things. Like that's the way that you want to feel, right? So the core difference that I want to give you here, and this is a way that we can start protecting our energy, but we need to do this mindset shift together first for it to like really lock in, right? And that is, if you are in this imaginary future scenario of yourself having the energy that you desire, right? You're not chasing after that energy. You trust that the energy is there. Not just trust, but you know it's there. So like if you have an off day, you categorize it as an off day as opposed to feeling like, oh my God, I never have any energy. Do you see the difference? So if we come back to this moment right now and this concept of chasing after energy or feeling like I don't have enough and I want more of it, but it's like out there in the future and I'm trying to grasp it, I'm trying to get at it. It's like this concept even and using the language of reaching your goal. You're trying to get at it and like pull yourself up. You're not allowing yourself to simply bring it down to you and letting it flow to you. Let me know if that makes sense, if that energetic difference, that's really what it is when we talk about language, if that makes sense to you. And this is really the core piece of mindset, manifestation and embodiment, is that if you had the thing that you wanted, for example, more time, more energy, you wouldn't be stressed about trying to get it, or you wouldn't be stressed about needing more of it, right? And this really applies to any goal, but right now we're just focusing on time and energy. So what I really want you to start practicing, and this is the mindset shift here, is protecting your energy in the sense that you are bringing this concept of how you want to feel in your energy into your everyday life right now. Again, you wouldn't feel stressed about needing more energy. You wouldn't feel like you're trying to reach and grasp for more energy if you already felt like you had it. So what are some ways in which you can start making that feel real in your life right now? It doesn't mean it needs to feel real all the time, every day. That's okay. And most likely it won't. That's life. We have these ebbs and flows, and to be able to adjust and shift back into alignment within these ebbs and flows is the practice. But to find small pieces throughout your day, or even one time during your day, to wake up in the morning and say, I feel energized today, or what is going to make me feel energized today, and then doing that thing so that you're really starting to tap into this idea of I'm protecting my energy so that my energy flows to me. Like I don't need to be reaching for it or trying to run after it, because that is me putting myself in scarcity mindset, which makes me constantly feel like I'm at this deficit, like there's not enough, like I'm at lack, right? And so when we shift this perspective and this energetic feeling towards how we interpret our energy, that's when we start to shift into the abundance mindset. That's when we start allowing ourselves to protect our energy, when we're asking ourselves these questions. What do I need? What would energize me right now? And maybe the answer is like, hey, I can't come out to dinner tonight because I'm, feeling like I have this energy deficit. I need to fill that up first and foremost. Like, for example, and I can speak for myself here, I am actually an introvert. And this was a mind-blowing revelation. We're about to get off topic. Okay, let me just check the time. This was a mind-blowing revelation when someone said to me, introverted, extroverted, it's not about like how social you are or how well you are with other people, or how well you get along with new people who you meet. It comes down to how you recharge your energy. And I always thought, oh, I'm an extrovert. Like, I love being with people. Hello, look at me right here. I'm talking to you. I love showing up for these weekly trainings, talking to my clients, all those things. But that's not how I recharge my energy. I need my space. I need my quiet days where I'm like really doing intentional things that fill me up. And that's how I recharge myself. And so knowing that for yourself, how do I recharge my energy, and creating that energetic boundary around that, protecting your energy through knowing what it is that you need. Okay? Let me know if that makes sense and how that's working into your brain for you. Part of protecting your energy comes from slowing down. Slowing the F down. Our world moves so freaking fast, okay? There are so many things that are required of us, so many things we have to think about, so many things that are constantly in our brains that we need to remember, so many things we need to do for other people, for our jobs, for our family, for ourselves. It can get so overwhelming, and most of us do live at this heightened, normalized level of overwhelm, okay? Slowing down is a way to start protecting your energy. Number one, so that you can figure out, how do I need to recharge? What is my method of doing this? Even if it is around other people, what we often see in that case is you still need to be showing up intentionally when you are around other people in order to truly feel like you got that recharge. Maybe it is having like a really authentic one-on-one exchange with like a really good friend. That's like what fills you up, as opposed to going to a party where you don't know anyone. Does that difference make sense? Cool. So slowing down is the aligned action for starting to protect your energy, okay? When we start to want to do all the things, what really happens is we're doing nothing, right? It's like wanting to try all the foods at the, bake sale, for example, and you're running to every single stand and you're like, what's over here? What's over here? What's over here? And you're checking it all out, but you're not like deciding to commit to one thing. And so you've exhausted yourself running around, and then like none of the good stuff's left, right? Okay, that's point number one. Point number two is my biggest subconscious mind hack to immediately start calling in more energy. So this first part was all about understanding, like, how does this work? What does this even mean when I'm trying to get more energy, or I don't feel like I have enough? How do I start protecting it? Now, how do I start calling in more of it, right? That's what we want. And again, time and energy are connected. When you feel like you have more energy, and with that are starting to do things that allow you to have more energy, meaning slowing down, streamlining your to-do list so that you are creating this space, this balance, this rhythm of rest, etc., it's going to start to open up more time for you as well. Time, and this, I'm going to have to do a new video on this because this is like a whole big new topic that we cannot get into in 20 minutes, but time is a construct. It is an illusion that we have created boundaries around based on our own perceptions, based on what we've been taught, based on society's constructs of it. And so really understanding that and starting with the energetic part is the key to expanding your time as well, okay? Whole other topic. If you want that as an Align and Allow series, let me know in the comments. Just write, tell me about the time, or give me a time GIF or emoji, and I will remember that. Okay, so here's the subconscious mind hack for immediately calling in more time. What the subconscious mind does, and if you are new around here, I talk about the subconscious mind all the time, but the subconscious mind is 95% of our brain, okay? It's 95% of our consciousness and understanding, like, how am I moving through the day? The conscious mind is only 5%, okay? So when we think about the subconscious mind and all the things that are hiding beneath the surface, it's controlling a heck of a lot. And I can also go into a whole series on just that. But I just want you to understand that in case you've never heard about this before, which is totally normal because, hello, normal schools don't teach this. But the subconscious mind, one of the amazing things that it does is it generates, distributes, and manages our energy, okay? So energy in and of itself is infinite. And I really want you to let that sink in and start to use that as a mantra. My energy is infinite. Energy in my life is infinite. Energy is constantly flowing to me because there's always enough. There's more than enough energy. Because that is the truth. And we have simply been told, because we've connected energy to time, that time is confined. We only have so much time. How many times have we heard the phrase, there's only so much time in a day, that we also can only have so much energy, okay? And what is really happening is if we are really connecting back to the subconscious mind, we have the power to start rerouting that energy and making sure that it is going to the places that we need it most and where we actually want it to be going, so that we do feel like it's infinite, okay? So most of us are using energy in the wrong way because we spend our energy, again, it's a currency, complaining about work or feeling stressed in our relationships or feeling like we don't have enough time and like constantly repeating that phrase in our heads, like I don't have enough time, or waking up in the morning and wishing we had more sleep, so immediately telling ourselves, I didn't get enough sleep, therefore I don't have enough energy, and focusing on the things in our lives or the pieces of our lives that aren't the way that we want them to be, okay? And there's a difference between reflecting on your life and doing like an audit so that you can create change moving forward, shift the things that aren't the way that you maybe want them to be right now and move into the way that you do want your life to be. And then the difference between that and like complaining and constantly being focused on, again, the lack of, oh, this isn't how I want it to be. This isn't as good. Why is it not better, etc. Okay? Let me know if that makes sense. So the key piece here is shifting into working together with your subconscious mind to redistribute this energy the way that you want it, okay? So point number 3 for this Align and Allow episode is going to give you the exact steps for how to do that. But I just want you to start to notice how you are speaking to yourself about your energy. And I've had clients who wake up in the morning and they're like, I never feel like I got enough sleep. And I'm always like, I'm so tired. Okay, let's start to shift the way that you're speaking to yourself about that. And yes, of course, there could be a lot of other things going on. And in which case, if you feel like there are, definitely, go speak to a health coach or to your doctor if you feel like there are some things that maybe need to be looked at. But at its core, it is part of the mindset and the mentality of being stressed out, constantly being behind, needing to do more, needing to, up level and be busier and show that we're trying our hardest and therefore we're stressed out or therefore we're tired. So we're training our minds to believe that there's not enough energy when our subconscious mind can literally be trained and given the task to redistribute our energy, okay? And the first step to that is really noticing, how am I speaking about my energy, right? Because until we know that for sure, it might be hard to actually identify, how do I want to be redistributing my energy? But we could also go back to what I mentioned in point 1 about what does your energy ideal imagination, vision look like, and bringing that into the equation. So where do I want to have more energy? Okay, how can I start to task my subconscious mind to say, when I wake up in the morning, I feel energized. And when I maybe feel like I'm procrastinating at work or feeling distracted, I give myself a 5 to 10 minute break so that I can manage my energy and I can come back to it, okay? Let's go to point number 3, and I need a sip of water. That was such an interesting thing to announce like that. Okay, point number 3. This is the exact next step that, like I mentioned, I teach my one-on-one coaching clients in the VIP coaching experience and in the Online Productivity Academy. We definitely talk about this a whole lot because we have a whole module just on energy management. So we really go into a whole lot of depth in terms of this entire topic. Like I mentioned, the time aspect, how that ties together, the subconscious mind, all those things. But this is the one next step to reclaiming and unleashing your infinite energy potential. You have so much of that inside of you. We just need to refocus where it's being directed, okay? The first thing that comes up when we talk about unleashing your infinite energy potential is breaking up with busyness and the toxic productivity that our society teaches us to be in, okay? This is a whole topic on its own, and I've actually planned for episode 9 of Align and Allow, so that's coming out next week, to be on this exactly. So how do we break up with busyness? What's coming up there? What's coming up in terms of needing to be a perfectionist or wanting to have things be perfect or starting to procrastinate, all of those things tied together. So there's going to be a whole episode dedicated specifically to that. And this is part of the next step to reclaiming and unleashing your infinite energy potential. But for right now, I'm going to give you a little bit more of a simpler step, but also a really important step. Like, it's something that I can, boil down for you in the next, 2 minutes of this live, of this training. And the other one is a full training in and of itself, okay? So this is your next step. And it comes down to how you are managing your energy. And when we talk about managing energy and how we're showing up, what really matters is not what you're doing, but how you are doing it. Okay? So for example, if you're showing up and you start work and you're like, oh, I'm so exhausted. I never got enough sleep last night. I never get enough sleep in general. And now I have to answer all these emails and it's just so annoying and da-da-da-da-da. And now I have to do this thing for my boss, or I have to do this thing for my business. And I have to sign these papers for my kids, and I have to file taxes and da-da-da-da-da. Let's just connect to that energy for a minute of right? That is the energy. And that's energy management. And when we have energy management like that, when we're showing up in that way, that's the how, we are leaking the F out of our energy, okay? It's like all of these holes are everywhere because our whole body and our whole physiology is right? And so there's all these holes and the energy is just falling away from us. It's sapping out of us. We just can't even contain the energy. And so of course we feel more tired, okay? Let's think of a scenario like that and then compare it with something where along the lines of you waking up in the morning, you're feeling really excited about work. Not all the time. I can vouch for that. It's not every day that you wake up and you're like, oh my God, I'm so excited for today. And it's okay, maybe not every day. Fair enough. But to really wake up and manage your energy then and say, okay, maybe I'm not feeling like I slept the best. How can I shift this? Can I say, okay, but I woke up this morning and I journaled and that really felt good and that re-energized me. Or I'm going to go for a walk instead because being outside always re-energizes me. And when I sit down at my desk to start work, I'm going to set the intention that I'm going to focus on one thing at a time and really allow it to each flow and to be present with it. And so that when I do show up for it, even if it's something that I think is shitty, like paying taxes or, answering a bunch of emails from angry people, then I'm managing my energy through that and really showing up in the sense of, okay, one thing at a time, and checking in to see how I'm feeling and to make sure that when I show up for it, that I feel at ease at the very least. Or maybe I do feel excited, or maybe I put on a dance song and hype myself up first so that when I get to the work, I'm in that energy then, okay? So that's really the difference between how and what. The what is, okay, I'm showing up and I'm writing emails. But we don't talk about how we're doing that. And that is really the first step to reclaiming your energy, because you're really getting intentional with noticing it and then unleashing that infinite energy potential, because you are actually shifting the way that you're showing up, and that is shifting the experience. You are plugging all of those leakages of where your energy is just flowing out of you from and taking it back to yourself. You're reclaiming your power when you show up this way. Let me know if that makes sense to you and how that's resonating with you, because this is really such a crucial part in creating more time. And like I said, we'll talk a lot more about this in next week's Align and Allow episode. So mark your calendars for that. Make sure you put the notifications on for this group so that you can get notified when it happens, when the announcements go out for all of that. And then what I still wanted to share, because I did something very exciting this week, is I updated a bunch of things on my new website, which will be announced officially very soon, but I had to move all the pages over, as anyone who runs a business or has ever made a website before knows that it's a process. But with that being said, there's a whole new page up on the intensives that I do. So these are week-long one-on-one coaching intensive sessions where we have a beginning session or initial session where we really dive into creating your feminine flow blueprint, creating your do less strategy, uncovering the mindsets that are keeping you stuck in this masculine energy. If you feel like you're like really heavy on the masculine energetic side of work, or even on the feminine side, we really work together to deconstruct any mindset beliefs that are creating that block or keeping you stuck there, and then creating your new strategy for moving forward. So these are really pretty much what this is the up-leveled version of the Feminine Flow Blueprint calls. So if you've been tuning in, you know that I offered a handful of free calls this month. They have all been taken up, but this would be the next step. So if you feel like you missed out on those free calls, you want that one-on-one support, you want not just the information of what you get in this training, but actually the transformation of implementing it into your own life, for sure, like I said at the beginning of this training, you can take all of this. This is all insanely valuable information and coaching tips that you can start to implement right away. But from my personal experience as well, that only has taken me so far. And then I'm like, okay, I need like that next level momentum. I need that support. I need that guidance. Like, let's go do the thing, right? So this is a really great next step for you. And I'm going to drop the link in the description. One, because I'm super excited because it looks freaking gorgeous. And two, because I want you to know what the next step could be if you do want more support, knowing now that the free calls are all taken up. So, okay, 26 minutes. We're like, let's applaud that. Okay. I wish you all a wonderful rest of your Thursday. Drop your comments, questions down below. I will come back and answer them all. I love hanging out with you. I wish you a wonderful rest of your week, and I will talk to you soon.